But Oz never did give nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't already have. And cause never was the reason for the evening or the Tropic of Sir Galahad. You know, we ought to let you just play disc jockey in here one morning on YouTube. You know, you're a disc jockey on the other side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how would you introduce this song that's playing right now?
Hear this song.
Oh, you got to put your headphones on.
Oh, no. Yeah. Hold on.
Good morning, YouTubers. We're getting ready for the show. Coming up in about 4 minutes or so.
First of all, let me go on record saying I wouldn't play this song.
You wouldn't play it?
No.
Why not? You don't like it?
No, I do not.
What's wrong with it?
I just don't like it.
Other people might, though.
Some people might.
And cause never was the reason for the evening.
I always thought this song was depressing.
I just like the tune that Carrie. I don't pay attention to a lot of the words. Everybody else pays attention to the lyrics, but me in most cases.
This time of morning, I'd play peppy music.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Get people ready for work.
Yeah. Why not depress them? Get them, because.
No, because they may have jobs that depresses them. I don't want to add to it.
Aw.
Yeah.
All right, YouTubers out there, we got a lot going on, of course. Fiona will bring you up to speed on whatever it is. I guess it could identify as a man or a woman, right?
That's Fiona.
Or maybe even a goat.
Fiona.
Yeah.
And cause never was the reason for the evening or the Tropic of Sir Galahad. So please believe in me. Ooh.
And again, if you want to weigh in on anything this morning, feel free to do so. We're kind of wide open. 910-333-0139. We do have Dr. Rosemary Stein. We'll be on a little after 8 o'clock, a few minutes after the top of the hour of 8. And in the meantime, you're welcome to join us. Do have something here about Alzheimer's I want to chat about. A new trial is going to be happening here, and they're looking for volunteers. If you're age 65 to 80, you can volunteer to help. And, so we got a little bit to talk about there too. So hang in there.
If she's gone, I can't go on, feeling 2 foot small. Every day, people say, each and every day, I can see them laugh at me, and I hear them say, hey, you've got to hide your love away. Hey, you've got to hide your love away. How can I even try? I can never win. Hearing them, seeing them in the state I'm in. How could she say to me, love will find a way? Gather round all you clowns, let me hear you say, hey, you got to hide your love away. Hey, you got to hide your love away.
WSMU Campus Show.
And a very good Wednesday morning hump day to you. And your weather's looking nice outside.
Yeah.
Nice and warm right now,
It
but
is warm,
it's
yeah.
not cold.
No.
But that's going to change a little bit here in the next day or so. Thursday night, how low is it going to get? Did you look at that?
Yeah, I have it right here.
I know.
Thursday night is going to be 60.
Oh my goodness gracious!
I like it.
It was 60 the other morning. I thought I was going to freeze to death. I went to
Yeah.
a restaurant last night and thought I was going to freeze then too. I got to start putting a coat and a long sleeve shirt on my Jeep. So,
I keep a blanket in my car.
phew, I'd look silly carrying a blanket in, but I would do it.
I don't give a. I will walk in a place with a blanket in my hand and not care.
The other day in the doctor's office, I mean, it was down in the low 60s. That's like,
just that'll give you pneumonia right there. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, got that going on. For those of you on YouTube, good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
And I forgot to tell you yesterday that ugly looking thing on my face is not my nose. It's where I had a little procedure done earlier
Can
this
anybody
week.
see it? I can't. Oh, I can see it a little bit. I know
Yep.
it's there though. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so anyway, it's no big deal. Except that it hurt, and it hurts still.
Yeah. I don't want people to think I punched you in the face.
Well,
I
I
did
didn't.
not.
The real story that I've been telling people is, that diving thing that I just got back from. Those really close-up pictures of the big green moray eel, about a 5-footer.
Bit you.
Yeah, he's only. When I shoot pictures of the very wide-angle lens, you got to get close. But I'm only about 4 to 6 inches from that critter's face.
Yeah.
So he bit me. He got mad and bit me.
Nice.
That's my story. I'm sticking to
I
it.
like it.
It's either that or Robbie told me to shut up and I stood up instead. Didn't understand what
I was
she
going to
said.
say,
She popped
yeah,
me.
Robbie popped you.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Hey, Fiona, I just heard on Fox News break there, a little update on it too. Deep convection around Fiona's eye is intense. That's a really, really tight,
I know. That's not a good
powerful thing.
Yeah.
It's continuing to strengthen too. Winds near the center are 130 miles per hour.
Yikes.
And it's still building. The hurricane moved over the Turks and Caicos Islands, then onto the Bahamas. Fiona is now over open waters.
Oh, that's not a good thing either.
Has got nothing between it and Bermuda.
Oh, my.
It's going to pass probably just to the west of Bermuda. That means Bermuda is going to be on the worst side, the northeast side of the storm. Bermuda was brushed, was it last week or week before?
It was last
by
week,
Hurricane
I
Earl.
think. Yeah.
But Bermuda was on the good side of Earl.
Yeah.
And so I think they had some wind gusts of like 40 miles an hour or something. And no big deal there. This one's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Yeah.
So Bermuda is not the place you want to be right now.
And we are to the west of Bermuda.
Yeah, about 600-800 miles.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, well, we're going to get
Bermuda
some.
really sets off our coast.
It does.
Yeah.
A long ways.
Yeah, but still.
We'll get heavy seas, some rough waters, and like I've been saying for a while, strong rip currents.
We may get some rain bands, depending.
Yeah, it's not looking like it's going to come out that far. And what's been the
not
weather
saying much
forecast?
of anything right now.
Yeah.
Other than it's going to be a little chilly this weekend. Well, it's not really going to be chilly, but it's not going to be as hot as it's been.
Yeah, it'll chill down a little bit. Yeah, after the storm goes by, and things should look pretty nice. The thing is, after it goes by, us and by Bermuda, it's going to swing back towards the north a little bit, and maybe even towards the northwest and northern Canada.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Oh my!
Yeah,
that hardly ever happens.
Yeah,
wow.
I know the northeastern part of Canada, but the storm will be greatly reduced by the time it gets there.
Yeah, but
after it gets those colder waters, it's going to drop way down.
It will.
The forecast is calling for it to. Let's see, pull that up here real quick. Like for the next 72 hours, going to have winds up to 120 miles per hour. After they top off at 140, and then at 96 hours, the winds will be 70 miles per hour, and this storm will become a post-tropical, extratropical storm. It won't be a hurricane at that point in time.
Okay.
And then 120 hours, it's down to 45 mile per hour sustained winds. When if it maintains its position and does actually get all the way up into Canada, which is there is a possibility. It'll be towards the weekend. Friday, it's going to speed up after it gets into those waters too. By the way, after it gets around Bermuda and swings back here like this path, it's going to. I mean, even Maine could get some stuff.
Yeah.
That this is not how broad it is. This is the possible path. It could be over here. It could be anywhere in this cone. If you guys are trying to follow what I'm saying, go to our Facebook page, Live and Local on Real Talk on Facebook, and I posted the cones and everything else out there on the storm as it go along. So that you can track it that way too.
Now, are you saying that there's certain that it's going to maintain the path, like they put it by Bermuda and not come more west?
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a trough here,
Okay.
and it's got some shearing going on the
Okay,
western
that
side
makes
of that
sense.
storm.
All right.
That's the reason that this is going away.
So it's not
pushing
pulling
away.
it towards us. Okay.
If
I
that
like that.
wasn't there, it would have
Mhm.
continued on the track likely that it was on,
Mhm.
which came across the Windward Islands, and then moved up the Leeward Island, then moved across Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic. It would have slammed from the Bahamas, but it
Mhm.
actually stayed on the best side of the storm was on the Bahamas side. So they didn't get anything like they could have gotten.
Right. Okay.
And the Bahamas are flat, and flatter.
Yeah, I know. I've been there. Yep.
Sometimes they're below sea level, like
Mhm.
they would have been in this case. And if that had happened, we would have been in prime zone.
I was going to say we would have been. Yeah.
So
Well, I'm glad to hear
we're
that.
kind of lucky in that respect.
Well, I saw last night on the weather. I had just turned my TV on. There's another thing forming up.
Yep, down there that's the one that's going to go into the Caribbean.
Yeah, and they said it may come up and hit like around the Panhandle of Florida area.
You don't know about that one yet.
That's what they said last night. Yeah.
Once it gets into the forming
It's
up
a TD.
stages,
It had a number, but who knows what the number was? I just been past like, oh, what's this?
Yeah, that's the one that came off the coast. So it formed
Yeah,
up in between.
They said it took them by surprise. It just kind of appeared.
Yep. It's kind of like the one up there called Gaston. There are two more coming off the coast of Africa as well.
I see that.
There and there.
Yep.
Um,
That's the one they were talking about.
This one
yesterday.
here is going to
Yeah.
cross, and it's got a 90% chance. It
Yeah.
is going to form up in the next 5 days.
Yeah, that's what they
70%
said,
chance
yeah.
in the next 2 days. But they're not. They don't have any.
Well, last night they did but you know how that goes. It's
Yeah.
the whole bunch of people sit around in a room and they, toss a coin and go, okay, what do you think it's going to
Pretty
do?
much.
But they had it going up almost into the Panhandle of Florida.
Yeah, it's a little early
It's
to
way
make that
too
kind
early.
of a
That thing
prediction.
just formed up, doesn't even have a name.
Yeah.
Let's just wait.
We'll have a name probably
Yeah.
Friday anyway.
Yeah.
So anyway, what else is happening in your world?
Oh man.
Got an unusual up there near Greenville at Aden,
Mhm.
somewhere in Pitt County. This
Mhm.
happened. They went into a police lieutenant's home. The FBI did raided a
Mhm.
couple of homes up there. Not saying what they're looking for, but the officer was they didn't arrest anybody, but the officer was in the back seat of one of the FBI agents' cars. So don't know what that's all about. He's been around for about 18, 20 years. So in different
Well,
towns.
that can't be good.
They hit one house in Greenville
Uh-huh.
and a house in Grifton. And the officer works, he has interest in one of those homes. And the two raids the FBI did concede were related. So whatever they were looking for, it was both in both places. The police officers, like I said, he'd been around about 18, 20 years in law enforcement in Eastern North Carolina, several towns. That's going to be interesting. And whatever. Charles Page is the lieutenant's name. And they saw him and other people in the home. Then he was placed in the back of the vehicles yesterday morning. Wow. He's worked over in LaGrange and in Aden since 2009.
Oh wow.
He's from Grifton. I hope it was a screwed up mess, but
Well, I have a theory, but I'm not going to say it. I'll keep it to
I do
myself
too.
for now. So
Right, we'll
I bet
see.
you and I have the same theory.
no doubt about that.
Yeah. So
Here's something. Well, let me tell you this first. The Children of Camp Lejeune Water Contamination Facebook group We see all of this contamination stuff on every TV channel. We saw it down in the islands. They were putting stuff
I
out.
saw it when I was in New Orleans in
Yeah,
June.
it's everywhere. They're going to host a rally on the 24th.
Now that group's been around for a long time.
Yes, it is.
Robin has spoken with quite a few of them.
Yeah, well, they're hosting a rally September 24th in Jacksonville at the Sunset Inn. That's at 497 Western Boulevard from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. or as they say, 0800 to 1600. 3 to 5 attorneys there to answer questions and help anyone navigate through the system for all of those affected by the Lejeune toxic water. There will be 2 food trucks there that day as well. The event is open to anyone that was exposed to Camp Lejeune. The fight is not over. It's just beginning, they say. We still have to stand up for the next generations.
A lot of that group is what I think is instrumental in getting that act passed. Some of them have been down here and been very vocal. And a lot of those kids in that group are sick. Yeah. Really sick.
If you served at Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you were exposed to highly contaminated drinking water. Whether it impacted you or had any effect on you, don't know. Robbie was born aboard Camp Lejeune in 1950. They lived there off and on, and through some of this period. So, as far as she knows, she has not been impacted, but don't know.
I know some people that have been impacted.
Okay.
Well, let me tell you this.
Go ahead.
You don't want to, this is why my kids never rode the bus, but Franklin County, Alabama, I don't have any idea where that is.
It's in Alabama.
A school bus driver was arrested on dozens of counts of reckless endanger after she was under the influence, taking 40 kids to school. It happened Friday. And the sheriff's office started getting phone calls, 911 calls about a bus driver driving erratically. And a mother driving her kids to school before the deputies could get there was behind the bus and saw it, knew something was wrong, pulled in front of the bus and forced it to stop.
Oh, my.
The mother thought
not a good plan.
This woman was like, I have to save these kids on the bus.
Yeah.
She gets on the bus. She thought originally the bus driver was having like a medical emergency.
Right.
Till she realized the bus driver's drunk.
Oh, my.
The kids were terrified.
I'm sure.
On the bus.
That could have been a huge tragedy.
Speech slurred. She failed a field sobriety test. So she was arrested, charged with DUI and 40 counts of reckless endangerment.
Good.
Because one for every student on that bus.
Absolutely. Throw the book at that one.
Yeah. None of the kids were injured, but they were flat terrified. And they did a blood alcohol level on her. They're waiting on those results back, but she failed the sobriety test. That's scary. And that's what, a lot of parents contend with when they put their kids on the bus.
Oh, yeah.
That, what's going to happen to my child?
You never know. But, that's one in what millions of buses that drive every day. So we should be hearing about it if it's in other cases too. But you can't catch everybody. You can't stop everybody. That's just the way it is. So you can't blame all bus drivers.
Well, did you see that the migrants have sued the Florida governor over that flight?
They haven't sued him. They got a class action
thickens.
suit by a bunch of lawyers or a lawyer, who knows. And of course, Ron DeSantis, not my favorite, not your favorite.
No, I think he's a weirdo.
They say those 4 dozen illegals, and I still call them illegal. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, Steve. On orders from Florida's governor have filed a lawsuit. They're claiming, at least some lawyer or lawyers are claiming, that they were put aboard the plane against their will. DeSantis says, no. His office provided documentation that the illegals had signed saying they knew the journey was done on a voluntary basis. Well, you say, well, they didn't speak English. Wrong. The papers they signed were in English and Spanish. Wonder what part the Biden administration played in getting the class action suit filed so fast.
I don't know.
I'm not buying that one. That's, that. And again, I don't like what he did. Don't like what DeSantis did. Don't like what Abbott and whatever the governor of Arizona name is. Don't know. I can understand it. And if I was in their shoes, and if I was a constituent in those states, I probably would support it wholeheartedly. because I don't want my tax money having to go to deal with these clowns.
Yeah.
Okay. Let them go. I mean, and Biden did the same thing. His administration has sent immigrants, illegal aliens, all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them, reports came in, by plane under cover of darkness after the airports had closed.
That's true.
So, yeah, Doug, if you're listening, that's a fact, Jack. So, it's,
I agree.
if he did it, if our government did it, is our government not guilty? Should a class action suit be filed against the government?
You would think, yes.
And I will bet you those people didn't sign any waivers like they did for DeSantis.
True.
My. Let me tell you a story about the lack of management over a big chunk of the so-called COVID money that was so easily handed out back in the day.
Don't do it.
$250 million supposed to go to the federal child nutrition program. Something happened along the way. The Department of Justice has filed criminal charges against 47 individuals, accusing them of fraud, converting the money to their personal bank accounts or whatever they did with it. They stole it. The DOJ says it's the largest pandemic relief fraud scheme so far that's resulted in indictments. More arrests are expected in many of the scams that saw COVID funds sailing into the wind. We've all heard, or at least suspected, that's what was going on. It's too much money out there, free money. It was too easy to get, and there were no controls on it.
Yeah, there were no control. But here's the thing. Some of the people, especially when those like PPP loans came out for businesses, some of the businesses that really needed it, they couldn't get those loans. But these high profile, big name companies and people with lots of money could get them. But I had a client that almost company went completely under because they could not get that loan. And they had employees and they almost bankrupted themselves, tapping into their own bank account to pay their staff. And they couldn't get that loan.
So the interesting thing about this thing is everybody knew things like this were going on, or at least suspected it. But why did they wait till the midterm elections to come down on them?
Agreed. And the other thing is some of on the case you're talking about, they were buying property overseas, cars. I mean, crazy stuff. It's a crying shame.
Sad thing for the American taxpayer. Prosecuting these scum and continuing the investigations will only cost more money. And even if a court orders restitution, anybody out there who's ever been told, wait, the court's going to order these people to pay you restitution, how many of you ever got it? And how did you get all of it?
Good point. Yeah. Good question.
Yeah, they're not going to get, we the taxpayers are not going to get this money back.
No.
Okay.
Well, we're still trying to figure out where the money came from. Unless they just printed a bunch of it up.
The taxpayers get screwed one more time. IRS, you know what that stands for? IR screwed.
Okay. Knowing you, I had to think, what can I say on the air that I think it is coming from your mind?
Yeah, I have got one of those.
Yeah, you do.
It also stands for Infernal Revenue Service.
It does.
A government that sells us the story that they are here from the government and they're here to help us.
Okay, I agree with that.
Goody. Thanks, but no thank you.
Yep.
I don't. Let's take a break. You're live in local Real Talk, 910-333-0139. 910-333-0139. Don't go away. We'll be right back. With a team committed to the boating and fishing community, Elise and George Papistrat have made it a priority to make sure your experiences are good ones. While it's not practical to tell you how to repair your motors, Tideline Marine understands that there are many things that you can do to save time and money. That's one reason the ship store has a variety of prepackaged do-it-yourself maintenance kits. Knowing, too, that today's outboard motors are much more complex than the Evinrudes of the 1960s, Tideline has a staff of factory-trained and certified technicians to keep your engines running. Tideline Marine, 159 Old Bridge Street, conveniently located across from the Wildlife Boat Ramp in downtown Jacksonville. A strong cold front will move through the area, and that will help keep Hurricane Fiona out to sea, but increasing long-period swells will arrive beginning tomorrow, and rip currents will be prevalent along the entire coastal region. Easterly winds today, 5 to 10, seas 2 to 3, dominant period 10 seconds, sounds and rivers a light chop. Tomorrow, southwesterly winds 5 to 10, increasing to 10 to 15 in the afternoon, seas 4 to 6 feet, dominant period 12 seconds. Those are those big long swells. Sounds and rivers a light chop, increasing to a moderate chop in the afternoon, and then comes Friday. Northerly winds 25 to 30 knots, diminishing to 15 to 20 in the afternoon, seas 8 to 11 feet. 5 to 7 near shore. Sounds and rivers very rough, diminishing to choppy in the afternoon.
Today, sunny, high of 89. Tonight, clear, low of 68. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 91. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of 60. And it starts to get gusty with gusts as high as 21 tomorrow night. Then on Friday, sunny, high of 76. It's going to feel kind of fall, but it's also going to be gusty Friday.
Good morning, Doug. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
Okay.
Good.
Getting ready for the storm that's not going to hurt us.
Yeah, there's another storm that will happen at 10:30. That's why I was calling today
Okay.
to notify your listeners about this. Notification was put out last night that the New York State Attorney General. I know this gets confusing because there are so many investigations into the Trump world. There are two going on in New York. One by the Manhattan District Attorney, which is a criminal investigation. And then you have one from the New York State Attorney General. This is the one that Trump famously recently testified in a couple of months ago and took the fifth, something like 400 times. In any event, she announced yesterday that she will be having a press conference at 10:30 this morning in New York. And then if you read the announcement doesn't say what she's going to be talking about. I've looked into this. I've talked to a friend of mine who has told me that she's officially going to be filing a lawsuit against the Trump organization. This investigation pertains to how the Trump organization has changed the value of certain assets that it has. It devalues them on taxes and then increases their values when it's applying for a loan. This is buildings and other stuff like that. And so she's going to officially be filing a lawsuit against the Trump organization. This is a civil suit. I'm told it's likely that she's also going to be filing a lawsuit against one of the Trump children, which would most likely be one of the boys, because they were left to run the Trump organization in his absence when he went to serve in the White House. But if they win this lawsuit, they will disband and break up the Trump organization and all of his assets. How is that possible? Well, it happens all the time. It happens all the time that in violation of fees. I mean, there will be fines that will be levied against them. If you're talking about certain companies that have, if a company makes an honest mistake and they make them once, the judge slaps a fine on them. In this particular case, what they will do is they'll break up the whole organization and it will cease to exist. We'll have to wait and see if that happens. What we know, because it was widely reported, is that last week the Trump folks offered up a settlement in this lawsuit, and the AG has rejected it because she didn't think that the penalties that they were willing to pay went far enough. So watch this space, 10:30 today. You're going to see Trump really get hit where it hurts the most for him in his pocketbook, and potentially you're going to see him lose his company.
I'll wait to see the trial.
Yeah, well,
If it ever
you
gets
can
to,
wait,
if it
but
ever
it's
gets
there.
to
Now,
trial.
what she will likely also announce is that she's sharing all of the evidence they have found with the Manhattan district attorney, which is looking into the exact same charges. But he's looking into it on a criminal element, and that is the one that Alan Weissenberg, the Trump longtime CFO, has already entered a plea and has said that he would work with them. So it's complicated. There's a criminal, there's a civil. This is the civil one, and it's about to get very interesting.
I'll guarantee you I'll be watching it.
Okay.
But I'm
10:30 today.
I'm going to also
which means
reserve
it'll start
judgment.
at 10:45 because that's how politicians do it. You know?
Yeah, so they can eat up some airtime.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, Dougie.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Back to Jacksonville.
Mhm.
Innocent until proven guilty, of course. A Jacksonville man has been arrested, charged with child sex crimes after the Onslow County Sheriff's Office says 2 victims reported being touched inappropriately by him.
Mhm.
The Sheriff's Office's 37-year-old Ricky Zicafus of Midway Park was arrested Monday and charged with 2 felony counts of indecent liberties with a child for the first victim and 2 felony counts of indecent liberties with a child involving the second victim.
Mhm.
Deputies say that on July 26th of this year, a victim reported Zicafus for inappropriate touching 2 separate times. The victim said the crimes occurred in October of 2021 when she was 12 years old. WDITN is told that the second victim, now an adult, reported to investigators that Zicafus also touched her inappropriately and asked her to perform inappropriate sexual acts. The second victim said the crimes happened between 2015 and 2020 and began when she was just 12 years old. I understand them. If you are ever approached, or at age 12, you know something's inappropriate, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who does it. Report it to somebody. If you don't want to report it to your parents, which you should, unless your parents are, perhaps involved, then see a minister, see a family friend, go to the cops, tell them, go to the district attorney's office, tell him. Somebody is out there who will listen.
Yeah, but a lot of times kids are intimidated.
I
They're
understand
threatened.
that. I understand that.
They, especially if, I've had clients that have had family members threatened
Yeah.
by the perpetrator. So, and they're afraid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Family members?
Like, in other words,
threatened?
like, if you tell anybody, I will kill your mom,
Oh,
or
for
I
God's
will,
sakes.
kill your sister, or, whatever. Yeah. And for some of them, they're so
If they-
traumatized by it, they
If
just
they make
try
a
to keep it
threat
to
like
themselves.
that,
Yeah.
that's just adds to the charges.
I agree. But kids, especially depending on who the perpetrator is,
Uh-huh.
especially if they've seen them be violent or whatever, they are going to take it seriously.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
The sheriff's office says Zicafus was jailed in the Onslow County Hotel under $80,000 secured bond. If you or anyone you know may have information about this,
Mhm.
there may be other victims out there,
Yeah.
reach out. You can call Crime Stoppers if you want. You don't want to be identified. Call Crime Stoppers at 910-938-3273 or call the sheriff's office. You can call 911, tell them. You can call 910-455-3113. You can also call 910-989-4053. If you need all of this information again, reach out to us. I'll give it to you. You can reach out. I don't like Facebook Messenger, but my email is simple, rayfordbrown@gmail. Okay? You call in here and say you don't want to go on the air, that's fine too. I will put you on hold and I'll take you in just a second.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. This is going on, we got to put a stop to it.
I want
Predators and predators.
Oh yeah. I wonder if the 2 victims are related.
Doesn't say.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Well, I've got something I want to bring up to parents. These crazy social media challenges, and there's a new one, and the FDA is warning parents to be on the lookout. So because parents often don't hear about these challenges because kids will, especially when the kids know this is probably not a good idea, they don't tell the parents, hey, guess what challenge I'm going to try. So this one is really a dangerous one. Not that the other ones aren't. And I haven't heard this till I read this morning. It involves cooking chicken in NyQuil.
What?
Yes. So kids encourages, kids to cook chicken in NyQuil and then eat it.
Don't.
No,
do
you want to talk about
that.
dangerous. And
So that gets by on social media.
yeah.
Come on. Who's policing social media? They police themselves when it's politically motivated.
Well, they're saying too, even if you do not eat the chicken, inhaling the vapors while they're cooking could cause high levels of the drugs to enter the body, and it could also hurt your lungs. And it says just by breathing those vapors in can cause a dangerous level of the medication to get in your body. You can actually die from drinking too much.
Oh,
NyQuil
well,
and
yeah,
stuff.
because
Yeah.
it's pretty
And it
potent.
slows your breathing down. So, I mean, this could gracious alive. So this is, the FDA is actually putting a public health warning out for parents to, take heed on what your kids are doing.
Yeah.
Because
monitor what your kids are doing, social media, their telephones, whatever.
Well, let me bring you up on that.
Unless they're 18, they're subject to you.
Monitor their phone, because in Wake County, North Carolina, last Friday, some kids were on a school bus. A busload of students driving to school or riding to school on the bus here in Wake County had porn sent to their cell phones, like one of those airdrops, because they had iPhones. Yes. And one mom's kid, got it and they freaked out, and it's called cyber flashing. And it's a way that strangers can send obscene or pornographic pictures to your phone if your AirDrop or Bluetooth is on.
Really?
And one of the moms said, I didn't even know this could even be done. And so they say leaving your Bluetooth or AirDrop on allows, pedophiles and other people to target a bunch of people at one time while remaining anonymous. Yep.
Well, they have to be close to you, I presume, right?
You could be like in a car next door to the bus. Yeah. And the kids were on their way to a middle school, and someone sent the porn to every cell phone that had their Bluetooth and AirDrop. And the mom says it was very graphic.
This is.
Wake County Schools is, investigate. I mean, they'll never find out who did this, because it could have been somebody at the stoplight. Could have been some kid on the bus, but they don't seem to think so. And they're telling, one way that they're saying to tell parents to protect their kids is keep their Bluetooth and AirDrop off. I mean, I have AirDrop on my phone, but I don't have it on.
Why?
I just do it when myself and my daughter's mother-in-law, we get together, we AirDrop pictures that we've taken of my grandson to each other. So, or when we'll be at events.
Why don't you just email them?
It just that's us a lot. I can just send them real quick. She'll just touch my phone with her phone. Boom. Yeah, it's easy. But I normally don't keep it on. Yeah.
Let's take a break. Got a man in the Onslow County Hotel, another one under $30,000 secured bond.
I saw that.
Oh my! You're live in local Real Talk. Don't get too far from your radio, because we'll be right back. Yeah, another Onslow County man is in jail.
Mhm.
He's charged with breaking into homes and cars and stealing items. The Onslow Sheriff's Office says Leroy Locklear, he's 53 years old, has been charged with 2 counts of felony breaking and entering, felony larceny, larceny of a firearm, felony breaking and entering a car, a motor vehicle, and misdemeanor larceny. He's 53. He's jailed under $30,000 secured bond.
Mhm.
The investigators say that back in July, Sheriff's Office received reports from 3 separate victims saying their homes or vehicles had been broken into.
Mhm.
There was surveillance video in the neighborhood. Well, guess what? They helped identify Locklear as the man who did it. If anybody else has had any issues that you did not report, or maybe whatever, something, maybe you got some video, you can go to WITN's website and get this man's mugshot if you want to take a look at some of your video and see if maybe he or anybody else has been casing your area. It doesn't hurt from time to time to go looking at your video, particularly when you're not at home, have not been at home.
Yeah.
Just go by and screen it and see if there's anything strange happening in your neighborhood while you're not there. That's always a good thing. You find something, call Sheriff's Office or the police department, whichever jurisdiction you live in. Coming up in a few minutes, about 40, Lee's going to be joining you in about 45 minutes or so. And because I'm leaving, I'm going out to Camp Lejeune, invited to go see a premiere production of The Last Muster. It's a production that directed by our very own John Legato, something he came up with, and that I voiced, that I tracked it, so I'll get to see it today in the full. It's about World War II. The terror and triumphs of World War II have faded. Estimates are that 1,000 World War II veterans die every day. Our greatest generation is disappearing. In August of 2015, Marines of the 4th Division met for their final formation at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. This is a group of great guys. I've seen the video of them. John and company were there shooting, filming during this time. And I was just moved by the whole production. It's going to, I'm anxious to see it on the big screen, and I get to see it today.
Is it by invitation only? Or is it open to the public?
It's by invitation only. This one's by invitation only.
Okay.
And I understand about 1,000 Marines are going to be there.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
It should work out very well. Some high-ranking officers are going to be there, generals included. So, I'm looking forward to it.
That sounds like it'll be amazing.
I feel privileged to be part of it. The 4th Division was formed up at Camp Lejeune back in the beginning stages after the World War II got underway.
Yeah.
And they, as they put it, a bunch of misfits. They raided the jails, the brigs, and everything else, and got the baddest of the bad, I guess. And they brought them together. Reminds me of the Dirty Dozen.
Yes, I was just going to say that. Yes.
This is in a huge way. And these guys fought. Nobody expected them to be able to fight like they did. They fought. They made a difference in World War II in the Pacific.
Well, yeah.
They kicked some royal butt. Okay. They went from place to place to place. So whenever it comes out, wherever it's going to be shown, make sure you get take the opportunity to see The Last Muster. These guys in 2015, when they came together at Lejeune, the remaining of them, they decided to disband and fold the colors because they were not very many in number at that time.
Yeah.
Since then, all of those people that are in this movie have died.
Oh, no.
There are none of them left.
Oh, so that's a way to preserve their legacy.
Yep, it is.
Now, will they be announcing when this will be able to be viewed by the public?
Yeah, well, John's working on several people are trying to get this product so it can be put out to the public, whether it's going to be on TV or whether it's going to be on like the military.com channels or where it's going to be. We don't know.
It'd be awesome to be shown at like the movie theater.
Oh, it would be great to show it here.
I think that they would have a big crowd. Yeah.
Good morning. Who's this?
It's the Donkey Man this morning.
Hey, how you be, Tim?
I'm doing fine. I want to put my hats off to John. And I will be so glad when the public can view this.
Yeah.
Because and I remember my daddy. He was in the Army in World War II, and he talked about he didn't talk about the fourth division, but he talked about how at one time they were going to bring and get people to come out. And he said a lot of times they send them on suicide missions, didn't care if to come back or not.
Mm.
And he talked about that, man. And he basically, The Dirty Dozen was his favorite movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to talk about it. He said, son, there's some truth behind that. I said, really? He said, and I never thought about it anymore until John come out with this deal.
Right.
And I just waited with bated breath to see it. Because I'm proud of our Marines. I'm proud of all our military.
Me
But
too.
I do want to see this.
Yep.
Especially with you narrating it. You know,
Well.
ain't no telling.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you doing it.
Well,
I really do. I mean,
I
I love your voice anyway. You got a great voice.
I appreciate John asking me, and we worked together on it, and I worked solo on it. I spent I don't know how many hours in the studio cutting and recutting and redoing and trying to learn to pronounce some of those words in there. Some of those islands out there in the South Pacific are, it's whatever. And then I had to pronounce some Japanese names.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that was a fun time.
Yeah. That requires
I bet it was.
practice.
One of you didn't have to get an interpreter.
Well, that's what Google is for.
Yeah, I've seen the safe. They still had a Japanese lounge down there in Port Street. You could have gone down there and got it interpreted.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
All right, I'm gonna get out of here and leave you alone.
Tim, thank you.
I'm just, man, I enjoy it, man. I'm like I said, me and a lot of people have talked about it since John's got on the air on your show and
Good.
And talking about it, man. Just can't hardly wait.
Yep.
But yeah, have a good one, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sweetness. I'll get your pears to you this week or first next week.
Thank
Let's
you.
see. We had Robbie and I were talking about a new recipe for pears.
Okay.
And it involves ice cream.
Oh my.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to pick them either this week or I will have them done by this weekend.
Okay.
I mean,
That was good.
the donkeys are having a ball with them.
Mm.
If they drop to the ground, I check them and throw them over there to them. So every evening, when I come in and I walk toward their pen, they run right straight across from the pear tree.
They know where the pear tree is. Gotcha.
Yep,
Right,
know where the pear tree is.
See
All right, y'all be good.
Bye. You're live and local Real Talk. We'll be right back. Hey, coming up soon, there's a possibility. Did you know that Alzheimer's, the changes in the brain, can actually occur 10 to 20 years before Alzheimer's disease symptoms even appear? You could have it now, and the symptoms show up 20 years from now.
Hmm.
We didn't know. Maybe if you found out that you had that possibility 10 to 20 years before, there may be some studies, there are studies underway that think that they could stop it from happening.
Well, what are the things that you can have 10 to 20 years before? Does it say?
Well, it says, there are no symptoms they don't
Mhm.
show, but with exams and whatever, there's a what they call a Trailblazer ALZ3 study. It's a new research study sponsored by Eli Lilly and Company to test whether a study drug can potentially prevent or slow down the symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. You may be able to join this research study if you're between 65 and 80, if you have normal memory and thinking, have a reliable study partner, and pass screening activities. Okay.
Okay.
But they're on the 17th, which is what, of October, between 2 and 6 p.m. You can go by the Premier Nursing and Rehab Center. It's right here in Jacksonville on White Street.
Okay.
Just up the street from us here. You can go there and find out a lot more information. Maybe you would qualify to be a part of that study.
Okay.
Right? I'm thinking about it. I mean, you know what?
Go do it.
Because if they got something out there that would prevent it,
Yeah.
then I'm kind of like all for it. And if it could help other people, it's going to be happening on the. Did I say the 17th?
You said 17th of October, yeah.
This says 17th, and this says 7th. Anyway, give a call.
One may have a typo. Okay.
Give a call. Yeah, 910-543-8344. I'll call and tell you about it later on. So anyway, hey, deputies have announced that a petition has been filed. That's like a warrant for a kid against a 17-year-old boy
I saw
in
that.
connection with the deaths of two teenagers who were found shot to death in western Orange County over the weekend. The two teens were found dead. One's 14, one's 18. They were friends, and that they were last seen on Friday night before being reported as missing over the weekend. They were found dead Sunday afternoon, not Saturday. The Orange County Sheriff Office said the petition against the 17-year-old boy, his name is still not being released because he's a minor unless he gets charged with as an adult, which is a good possibility. And the sheriff there says that is a real distinct possibility given the seriousness of this and the viciousness of this crime, these two murders. So we'll see. If nobody around here is going to have any information, so I won't give that up. Okay, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back on the other side. And a whole lot more. If you want to chat, give us a call. We just wait till after Dr. Rose. She'll be coming on at about 3 or 4 minutes after 8 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. If you do have a question you'd like for us to ask her or something medical, give us a call though right after the news, and we'll try to get that in too. You're live in local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. Our number 910-333-0139. 910-333-0139. State Highway Patrol trooper shot an armed kidnapping suspect Tuesday after being shot at on the side of an interstate. The Highway Patrol says at about 6:45 in the morning Tuesday, that's early, the Highway Patrol was told of multiple hit-and-run traffic crashes between McDowell and Burke counties, as well as a related armed kidnapping on I-40 eastbound near mile marker 114. Troopers say a report said the suspect in the vehicle was in the bed of the kidnapped victim's truck traveling on the interstate.
Mm-hmm.
Sergeant Aaron Johnson found the truck that had to pull over to the shoulder of the road. Johnson saw the guy and saw the woman in the bed of the truck, and she shot at him before he returned fire and shot her.
Mm-hmm. Wild.
Wow.
Wild.
The Highway Patrol says that once the scene was secured, authorities began life-saving procedures until emergency responders arrived and brought the suspect from the scene. She's listed in stable condition now. Johnson's a 19-year veteran stationed in Burke County with the Highway Patrol. He was not hurt.
All right.
Been placed on administrative duty, typical, standard operating procedure.
Correct.
Authorities say they are working to positively identify the lady. The State Bureau of Investigation will oversee the investigation into the trooper-involved shooting. Highway Patrol will continue to investigate the suspect's actions. Charges are forthcoming. Guarantee you the charges are forthcoming.
Yeah.
So she was in the bed of the pickup truck of the victim that she had kidnapped.
Right. That's
Wonder who the victim was.
well. Who was driving the?
I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't driving itself.
No, not unless it's one of them
Well,
automatic
it
things.
could have been. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know of any pickup trucks that are automatic things. Wow. Boy, there's a lot of news out there.
Well, there's something for involving Carowinds.
Oh, no.
So on yesterday, they announced a new chaperone policy. It's apparently on Saturday night, there were a bunch of teenagers were acting a fool. They were unchaperoned in the park, caused mass panic and mayhem by running around screaming and acting like there was someone with a gun.
Oh, boy.
So they had to shut the park down early, Saturday night. So they've announced a new chaperone policy that anybody 17 or younger must have a chaperone who is at least 21 to be admitted during this scare, because now they're doing Scarowinds,
great.
which is like the haunted house stuff. And they can be, the chaperone can be one per every 4 people. So you can't have a chaperone cannot have more than 4 17 or younger people in their group. No bags of any kind, purses, backpacks, diaper bags, or anything allowed. Can't bring a diaper bag. But why would you bring a small baby to Scarowinds anyway? Because it's a scary theme thing. So just don't do that. That's tacky. And it starts the bag policy, the chaperone, and the no re-entry policy starts at 7 p.m. Yeah.
Well.
And guests who require health accommodations may bring a bag no larger than 4.5 inches to 6.5, containing only medically necessary items. So let's say you're a diabetic and you have to carry around your insulin or whatever. You can put that in there, but they're going to search it. It says they're going to search that bag. So, yikes.
Well, and for safety reasons, I totally understand that.
Yes.
I don't understand why children are out there acting like idiots.
I agree. Bunch of teenagers unruly.
Yeah, so that was my professional medical diagnosis. Good morning, doctor. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Well, traditionally, childhood is the time where people act the silliest and make the dumbest decisions. So I don't know what the conversation was about, but I'll put that in context.
It was about teenagers this past weekend at Carowinds, at their Scarowinds thing. Unsupervised and caused mass. They ended up having to close the park because they had people trampling down things because they yelled out about there was a shooter and people panicked, took off running, knocking over planters, each other.
There was a game.
There was fights breaking out amongst the teenagers. Police had to get involved and they ended up shutting it down Saturday night. So Carowinds is now, because Scarowinds is starting where, on the weekends they do the Halloween scary theme things from now through the end of October. So they've announced a new chaperone policy yesterday for anybody 17 and younger has to be chaperoned by an adult, and one chaperone cannot chaperone more than 4 people, just because of the no bags, no diaper bags allowed. But why would you take a kid to a scary thing anyway? But yeah, because teenagers don't know how to act, basically. Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
each one of these teenagers has parents. So
Yeah, and
I hope
I tell you what, if you start running around and screaming and hollering and carrying on, somebody's got a gun, and or fire or anything else like that, that the freedom of speech is gone all of a sudden. That's also called inciting a riot.
And it caused
Criminal.
injuries. Fights broke
Yeah.
out separately, I guess, and then but people were knocking over planters, trampling each other. It was just a mess.
We need someone. Hey, Doc, isn't there a shot for that we could give kids?
I guess it's called age and sage, but
Yeah.
it takes a while to get there. But once again, they have parents,
Yeah, they do.
and it's just a matter of okay. I guess I didn't do such a great job preparing you for this one, so here's the consequence.
There you go.
And kid's not going to like it, but it's going to teach him to respect others and to think ahead. Because that was, you're right, that was really, really dumb.
Well, parents could turn to the Board of Education for that, and the board that I'm talking about is about 4 inches wide.
I
get it.
That too, but can you imagine if Carowinds decided to sue the group of parents because they know who the kids were, so they would probably be in their right to turn around and say, okay, here's your bill because we had to close it early. The stuff was destroyed, and so you take your time, 30, 40 years, no big deal. You're going to pay it off.
There you go. Well, what's going on in the world of medicine and kids and schools?
Oh, well, they're back in schools. As you know, their scores have been quite bad, especially in reading, writing, and math. So now we're less than 50%, probably around, 33% or 38% proficient in reading and math at this point after the pandemic. The pandemic made or helped to make poor kids less academically proficient. So the ones that did the worst, were the ones who are the poorest and the minorities. And so they were the ones who are already doing poorly, and they're doing worse. But all categories did badly, but minorities and girls did the worst. So it's kind of bad news. But that means that, once again, us as parents, we have to be vigilant. We have to go back, take out a little reader and see where your kid is, especially first, second, and third grade. And can you imagine? These kids haven't even been tested yet because they're first, second grade. You don't get tested. You don't know, following this standardized test, how they're doing compared to others. We're just judging this. But once we get those standardized tests at the end of third grade, then we're really going to see the disaster that we have on our hands.
It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. And I'm just thinking here, did China lock down all of its schools? Did it require virtual learning during this time? Do you know?
That's a great question because the Chinese are very protective of their children. They know that that's the jewel of their civilization and their society. So it would be interesting to see. And many European countries didn't lock them down like we did. We were probably among the best at locking our schools down and the virtual thing and masking them all the way until the end. Many schools in other countries had diminished the lockdowns and had taken the mask off the children. By the time that at the end of the school year last year, we were still masking kids up.
I would be interested in knowing what the testing of these kids in China, Japan, and other locations are. Wonder how it turned out. Wonder how they compare with us now.
Yeah, because we know that it was a worldwide challenge, but compared to us, how did they? I'd be interested as well to see how they managed.
Mm-hmm.
Anything brewing on the illness front with kids? Are they still sick? Are they getting a little better?
This week seems to have decreased in the number of phone calls
Okay.
so far. I'm expecting an increase because it goes, it goes in a sort of roller coaster. Last week was horrendous. But so far, Monday and Tuesday were not as overwhelming as last week were. And mostly we have some, upper respiratory infections that are non-typable. We have quite a bit of strep. So lots of hand washing, and if your throat is hurting, or your kid's throat is hurting, maybe you want to take them over to the doctor, have them strep tested, make sure they're using their own toothbrush, not sharing, and the utensils too, because it spreads very easily. And strep sounds like it's very benign because it's easily cured with an antibiotic, but it can have a lot of consequences on your kidneys, on your heart, on your skin, and even neurological consequences of it. It's called a panda, where you sort of have these tics and strange movements. So a strep that goes untreated can have some pretty dire consequences. If your kid's throat is hurting, it's better to check to see if it's strep. Don't run to the doctor every time. See, give them some warm fluids and see if it goes away. But if within a day it doesn't go away, it should be tested, or if it's accompanied by a fever.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm hoping this year. I keep reading that we probably are going to have a worse flu season this year, but I'm just hoping that's not going to be the case. That's not what we need.
Yeah, it wouldn't be what we need. I'm thinking that that exactly is what's going to happen. Because we've held it back for 2 years, and these kids do not seem to have much of an immune system, and that's where the illness spreads. It's mostly through schools, because kids congregate in schools, and they're not very hygienic.
They do, and I think there needs to be a dirt pile at every school. On your way into class, you're supposed to eat a teaspoon of dirt.
Just like vitamins.
There you go. I think that would work out well. All right, Dr.
Take your vitamin and your dirt.
How did your daughter make out down in the DR with the hurricane?
Oh, that's a great question. No, well, she called me. I was in the middle of seeing patients. In fact, Dave and I were in the middle of seeing patients last Thursday, and she says, "Mom, there's a hurricane heading towards me." And I said, "Well, not directly towards you, but yeah, it's going over there." And her roommate had left because she was going to attend a wedding. So here I am thinking of my kids stuck in the Dominican Republic, no power, no phone. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not going to work. In fact, she's leaving today.
Okay.
I brought her back the next day on Friday. I said, you're getting the heck out of there.
All right. So, okay. Well, the DR obviously was better prepared than Puerto Rico was.
I think the system is different, and where the Hurricane Fiona hit in the Dominican Republic, which is the whole tourist area. The roads are great. I mean, the life quality is very good. They did not do poorly at all. I mean, there's a lot of water. There's some flooding in parts. It's cleanup day yesterday and today, but they did pretty well. I don't know that they were better prepared. I think it was just that the Dominican Republic so far for this storm was extremely fortunate.
Yes, they were. We had the chairman of the Craven County GOP. She and her husband were there at the time, and they rode out the hurricane. In fact, we talked with her when they were in the eye of the hurricane the other morning. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, Dr. Rose, thank you. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Talk to you next week.
You got it. Hey, Lee, how are you?
Well, good morning.
I appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, I was a little slow this
morning.
So
I could go look at the movie.
I got my booster and the flu shot Monday, and he's kicked my tail.
Aw.
But I'm good.
Yeah, it should be all right.
Yeah, just got to keep moving.
And we were having a call when we had Dr. Rose on. Brandy Humphrey, I think that's what the name was that I could see. Please give us a call back. We can't take calls while we're on the air with another caller. Right. The system does not allow that. Yet I'm still trying to work on it. I work on it every chance I get. There's going to be a way. I'm going to do something so we can have two people on at one time.
Sure.
But hasn't happened yet. Let's go ahead and take a break. Brandy, if you want to call, you've got the number 910-333-0139, or anyone else wants to call and chat, feel free to do so. You're live in Local Real Talk. Don't go away. We'll be right back. With a team committed to the boating and fishing industry, for all you folks out there who like to boat and like to fish, that includes me, Elise and George have made it a priority to make sure your experiences are good ones in this area. While it's not practical to tell you over the phone how to repair your motors, Tideline understands that there are many things that you can do to save time and money. That's one reason the ship store there at Tideline has a variety of prepackaged do-it-yourself maintenance kits. Knowing, too, that today's outboard motors are much more complex than the old Evinrudes of yesteryear, Tideline has a staff of factory-trained and certified technicians to keep your engines running. Tideline Marine, 159 Old Bridge Street, conveniently located across from the Wildlife Boat Ramp in downtown Jacksonville, right on the banks of the New River. A strong cold front will move through the area, and that will help keep Hurricane Fiona out to sea. Yay! But increasing long period swells will arrive beginning tomorrow, and rip currents will be prevailing along the entire coastal region. Easterly winds 5 to 10 knots, seas 2 to 3 today. Dominant period 10 seconds. Sounds and rivers only a light chop. Southwesterly winds tomorrow, increasing to 10 to 15 in the afternoon. Seas 4 to 6 feet. Dominant period 12 seconds. Sounds and rivers a light chop, increasing to a moderate chop in the afternoon. Then on Friday, here we go. Northerly winds 25 to 30, diminishing to 15 to 20 in the afternoon. Seas 8 to 11 feet. 5 to 7 near shore. That says that hurricane is going to be passing us offshore. Sounds and rivers very rough, Kelly. Rough.
Yes.
Diminishing to choppy in the afternoon.
Today, sunny, high of 89. Tonight, clear, low of 68. Tomorrow, sunny, high of 91. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, low of 60. And on Friday, sunny, high of only 76. But a little gusty, but still.
It's going to be breezy.
That might even make it feel a little chillier. I
It's
like
going to be
it.
cold.
I like it.
It's going to be freezing. I'm going to get a long sleeve shirt and a jacket. Good morning. Who's this? Hello.
Good morning. This is Brandy Goins, the administrator at Premier Nursing and Rehab Center.
Hello, Brandy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing fine. Thank you. We were just talking about you a little while ago.
That's what I hear. I wanted to make sure that we have the date correct for
Yes.
the Alzheimer's screening.
Yes, I have two forms here, and one of them looks like it says the 7th. The other one says the 17th.
17th.
Got
It
it.
is October 17th.
Good. All right.
Good
So
to
I'm,
know.
I'm between 65 and 80. Can I apply?
Yes.
I can't remember what I was doing yesterday,
Absolutely.
but that's nothing normal, unusual.
I'll tell you, myself and the employees were all wishing that age would have been lowered. I'm 43, and I was more than willing to test as well because my short-term memory is impaired for sure. So I appreciate that.
What's involved in this process? If you, as you know, as a test dummy, if I am chosen as a test dummy, what's involved?
What would be involved is you would meet with one of the screeners from Care Active. And from there, you would complete the screening. They do like to find out what diagnosis you have, what your family history is, and then you would submit to a blood sample, which would test for the proteins in your brain that are indicative of Alzheimer's or a carrier for Alzheimer's.
Okay, so
and that would be it as far as the screening goes.
Okay.
After that, it would be, it would go into receipt of the medication and then monitoring thereafter, of which, of course, you would be compensated for your time and travel for that.
Not concerned about that. I'm just concerned about making sure for not only me, but for, other generations to come. Maybe that's what I want.
Absolutely.
That's the reason when I
it's
get
my
blood, I
understanding
refuse
from-
to get their money. I don't even take their cookies.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you from being in the study previously with the antibodies for COVID, you are followed for a little past a year by Eli Lilly with monitoring of laboratory values and basic vital signs and such.
Okay, well, that's good. So they just need to come in, or they would need to call first?
Either way, they can stop by the facility anytime between 9:30 and 4:30 on October 17th.
Okay.
We will be sending out a link as well for appointments.
Okay, if you will make sure that I get that link, my email address is easy. It's rayfordbrown@gmail. And there's probably somebody in your facility that knows exactly where I am at any time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep, I will definitely get that to you.
Okay, then we can put it on our Facebook page as well. We'll share it.
Great.
All right. Hey, I do appreciate you calling back. Sorry we couldn't get to you while we were on the air with another caller. So
that's okay. Thank you so much for sharing this information for us and for accepting my call today. We really do appreciate the support.
Thank you for calling.
All right.
Yeah.
Take care.
Take care. Bye bye. That's good.
Yeah.
It is
I
good.
think
That-
it's a
I-
very good thing
Yeah.
for a lot
It's
of
great.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. And all you do is suck out a little blood. I need to tell them I faint at the sight of blood.
No,
You
don't
stop
tell 'em.
right there.
I tell all my doctors that,
Oh my gosh.
or the nurses, or whoever takes
I'm
my
sure
blood.
all your appointments.
You're like a difficult patient, aren't
when
you?
you walk in, they're like,
That's a
"Good
difficult
Lord."
patient that does
Is it?
stuff like that. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
When you
I'll
walk in
fess
the
up
door,
later.
I get. They're just like, he's here.
But by that point, they're already on edge.
Who? Because of me?
Yes.
Why?
Because that just, when someone's got to draw your blood
Ooh,
and you tell them I faint or whatever, that automatically puts them on edge.
what really puts them on edge is when they take you and swab you with that little alcohol thing, and I jump then.
Oh, my Lord.
Good.
You are awful. I just want you to know.
Well, my last blood that was drawn from our favorite doctor's office, I was talking away to one of the other people, and she actually drew it before I even realized it.
They
She
did
took
the same.
3
They
vials, and I was
they
like-
did exactly the same thing over there for me. I had not a clue that it was being done unless I
I
was
didn't
looking at it.
either. And I was like, wow, that was.
And you can give me a
that
needle
was
anytime.
good.
I
She
remember
was
as a kid
pretty cool.
when I had to go get those, all those things you had to do
Mhm.
before school,
Right.
and they bent the needle in the arm.
Oh, God.
I'm like, really? When they pulled it out, they had to pull it and bend it around because it was bent.
No way.
Oh yeah, I have not liked needles since.
Will they put it in a bone or in a muscle?
I don't know what they hit. Good golly, Miss Molly.
Whew.
Had to be a really thin needle,
Yes.
really tiny. Of course, for little kids, that's what you're supposed to do. So, and I was a frail little kid anyway.
Mhm.
All right, what else is going on? I saw a bunch of Republicans last night. I invaded their room
You did.
by
Yeah,
mistake.
good. Oh, did
Oh
it was
yeah,
a monthly meeting last
I
night.
walked in straight over to the in the Golden Corral.
Right, I
I
heard
walked-
it went really well.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't go well when I walked in because they thought I was an invading force. I
Yeah,
walked
you were
in. I
there
said,
to
"Well, what are
sneak."
y'all doing in our fishing club room?"
Oh,
That's our fishing club room.
oh no, it's our room.
Oh no, we've had
We
it
had it
before you.
first.
No,
Oh, we've been doing it for years.
not in that room.
Mm. We should have the room on the left,
That is where they are now.
the back.
I can't imagine Republicans meeting in a room on the left, though.
True.
Shame on you.
Very
Shame. You're not.
true.
Yeah, you're not real Republicans.
Huh.
The,
But don't forget now, if you want to register to vote or change your registration,
mhm,
the headquarters down there on Yacht Road where the Walmart shopping center is,
uh-huh.
you can do a drive-through.
Okay.
You can drive up in your
That's
vehicle.
not a drive-by now, folks. That's a
No, no.
drive-through.
You can just drive right up in your
You're
vehicle
good.
and go to the drive-up window, and they will give you the form. You fill it out, and if you have any questions, they're there to answer it. And they'll also give you an envelope that you can fold it up, put it in that envelope, seal it, hand it back to the teller, the Republican teller. And it doesn't matter what party.
She gonna give me money?
No, she's going to take that sealed envelope, and every day they deliver it to the Board of Elections.
Okay.
So there you go. No reason not to vote.
There
Not
you-
to register. That's
Please, folks, let's start this campaign right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is an important election,
It's
regardless of
very
what side of
important.
the political fence that you
That's
are
right.
on. If you're a Democrat, there's a dang good chance you're going to lose at least the House, probably the Senate, based upon a poll that I saw yesterday, unless you hardcore Democrats get out there and vote, and you 40% or less of the independents get out there and
Mhm.
vote. Then you're going to see a change in what goes on, and Mr. Biden will be sidelined. Basically, he ain't going to be doing much of anything because he ain't going to have no help. That's what will happen there. Okay, Pelosi will be gone. Your beloved Pelosi will be gone. Toast, out of here. Of course, once she loses that, she's going to become the ambassador to Italy. Did you hear about that?
No.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that position's been open since Biden
Well,
took
that's,
office,
That's right up her alley there.
and she wants
Mhm.
it. She's made that apparent, and,
Italy
and
makes a
Biden
lot of wine.
Biden has kept
Mhm.
it open, kept that position open, just in case this day shows up. So that's what's going to happen.
Why doesn't she just step down and take the position then?
Well, she's the Speaker of the House. She can't afford to do that.
Oh, please.
Oh,
Don't even
golly, that would
start.
hurt.
We got lots
What
of
hurt
wine in
who?
Italy.
That would just hurt her feelings. She would think she wasn't as loved if she would just step away and if people would applaud. Because that's what would happen. You know that, right?
Even a lot of the Democrats would apply. A lot of the
Yeah.
Democrats don't like her.
Yeah.
Not everybody likes her.
Now, for you Republicans and you other independent folks out there who lean towards the conservative side or the moderate side or
Right.
whatever you want to say, you need to register. And I don't care whether you voted 20 years ago and you haven't voted since. Go down and register.
Yeah.
This is an important election for you as well.
You can go in your pajamas. You don't even have to get out of the car.
What if you sleep in nothing?
I would advise at least throw a towel over your lap or something,
Okay.
Rayford.
All right. So anyway, this is at the I know this is at the on the Yacht Road near the Walmart and all that sort of good
Walmart,
stuff.
Lowe's, that whole area right there. It's
Okay.
an old bank. It used to be a bank.
Yeah.
You can't miss it. There's signs up everywhere.
I'm sure there are flags.
And if
inside.
you need,
Speaking of flags,
What?
oh my goodness gracious, where did we go the other day? Robbie and I were going somewhere. Oh, I don't even know what day it was. That's ridiculous. And alongside the road, Highway 258, Sunday, some guy there was selling flags. We were
He's
approaching.
there all the time.
I'm like, there are 5 million Trump flags there.
He's there every
Yes.
weekend.
I counted
Yeah,
them.
he's there.
Is he?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Holy
When
moly!
when we were busy
gotta
selling
get-
them, he was right out there next to us selling his.
I got to get me some flags and see. Does he make any money at it?
He must, because
yeah, he
when I've
does,
gone
'cause
by
they're
there, I
kinda-
see people
yeah.
buying them.
Where can I buy them wholesale?
Amazon is the
Probably, yeah.
cheapest place to buy him.
Okay, so I buy them wholesale on Amazon, then I put them up, mark them up, and sell them.
Yeah, that's what we did. We made lots of money
Hmm.
during 2020. I just want you to know you're up as of September 17th. You're up by 1,810 votes.
Cool.
Voters.
Registered voters.
Yes.
My independent party.
Yes.
There you go. That's cool.
1,810.
All right, you ready to take over?
Yeah.
Let me get rid of this stuff.
So I came a little early because I figured you wouldn't want to rush.
Come on. I got to close this thing out, or it'll just go round
I
and
know.
round and round and round and drive me up a wall.
Talking about
See nothing to-
politics. Did you hear about that guy in North Dakota?
What
No.
happened there?
He kills a teenager with a vehicle after a political dispute.
Oh, you got to be
Oh, for
kidding me.
God's
Claims
sakes.
the Republican was an extremist.
But he's the one killing someone.
That's right.
Okay.
He used his vehicle.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. That people get so worked up over politics, even around here. I mean, it is
Right.
ridiculous.
I want to argue politics. That's one
No,
thing.
it's childish and ridiculous.
And I keep it off of social media because about the time you say anything, you're getting attacked.
Yep.
Well,
So
but not only that, I mean, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But some people get upset if you don't have the opinion they have,
That's
and
right.
they
Oh, yeah.
just
that's right.
beat you down with it.
But that's why we call it a democracy. You have the right to your opinion.
Everyone has a right to their own opinion.
That's right.
Opinions are
Otherwise,
just
we're
like
like
a part
robots.
of your anatomy.
Yeah.
Wow. I was like, don't do it.
Everybody's got one.
Yeah.
And you have
Yes,
a
they
right to
do.
express yourselves.
That's true.
Yes, they do.
All right, ladies, I will see you at some
Well,
point in time.
enjoy it. I hope it goes
I
well.
hope it's well.
I
Yeah.
hope so
can't
too.
wait to
I'm
see
counting
it.
on it. I can't wait for it to get out here in the public,
I know it.
whether it's on TV or wherever it is.
Excuse me. I saw a little bit while you were working, just a snippet, and it brought about tears to my eyes.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see the reaction today.
Right.
All right, see you later.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that are going. I saw them responding to it. So have fun. Enjoy it. And I guess you'll get, we're going to put you up for an Academy Award on this.
And
I don't know. I'm curious to see it.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of
Yeah.
it as he was working on it one morning when I came in,
Yeah.
and it was really good. And he did such a fantastic
Mhm.
job narrating it.
Yeah, he was playing some of it in here before. So yeah, it's going to be a really good thing. And anything that John Legato does is always done well
His
anyway.
books are
Yeah, his
excellent.
books are excellent. So I'm very curious and can't wait to see it myself. So
Did
this'll be
y'all
good.
talk about that double homicide in Mabane, North Carolina, the 2
Mhm.
teenagers?
Yeah, Raver just talked about it.
Yeah, and
They've arrested a 17-year-old.
yes, and of course they have to charge him as a
Mhm.
juvenile.
Well, they know because certain things can get the up to a murder
Right,
adult.
right.
I think he'll end up getting adult
I
charges.
hope so.
Yeah, I think he will. One thing I do want to remind everybody about is on October the 22nd, so next month at 8 a.m., there's the Freddy's Frozen Custard Challenge and the 5K Trail Run
Wow.
presented by the JOSC here in Jacksonville, and there's also a kids trail for $10, but it's at the Heinz Farm Park and Stables. So if you want to do this, a lot of people like these 5K and trail run things. You can go to racejosc.com for more information and to sign up. So I had told Marie said that I would make sure I would periodically.
There's a lot of things coming up this fall.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of stuff. I think it's going to keep everybody really busy and happy. It's good to see.
Mm-hmm.
I know see if I can find it real quick. They sent it to me, and the director was going to call into the radio station one day, but it's the Military Order of the Lancers is having an Apple Fest 2022, and it's going to be October 8th, 2022, 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Halls Run Community Building. And the Military Order of the Lancers, they raise money, and what they do with that money is they help take care of some of the military families, the husbands
Mm-hmm.
overseas,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. They'll help provide toys for the kids at Christmas, and this is a huge fundraiser. Deployed Santa is what they call it, and they raise money and they buy toys for the kids and go out to these needy families whose husbands or spouses are overseas,
Okay.
and they play Santa Claus. So, well, I'll put
It's a good
that.
group.
I'll put the flyer on our Facebook page.
Okay.
So everybody can see it.
Good.
Yeah, but if anybody else out there, a nonprofit, any
Mm-hmm.
type of organization, has anything going on that you'd like us to talk about, or send us a flyer on it, we'll be happy to share it with everybody.
Yeah, that's definitely important.
That's right.
Let's go and take a break. Looks like there's like 5 commercials, so it won't impede too much
Right.
into the 50 break that we're required to take. We're live in local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back. And we are back for the last roughly 15 minutes
Yep.
of the morning. And I got to move this microphone down so you guys can actually hear me. 2 fish kills have been reported around or along the New River in the Sneads Ferry area just in the past week. And the Coastal Carolina River Watch is investigating them.
Right. I think it's an algae bloom, probably.
And one of them, but the other one, they're not sure what it was. The first one was reported September the 13th in Everett Lake, was in the Chadwick's Shores neighborhood. And then the State Department of Environmental Quality Inspectors visited the site after it was reported, and they found 5 to 10 dead fish, mostly red drums.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of unusual. Red drum.
And they said because there was no unusual color or odor coming from the pond, so
Right.
they don't know if maybe the heavy rains, had
Right.
flushed some organic matter from the wetlands
Mm-hmm.
that into the pond. They just aren't sure, but they were running tests. Then on September the 18th, which was just this week, a citizen in that neighborhood said the water was darker now
Right.
than the day when they initially saw the dead fish. And I'm not even sure what that's, but then it kind of cleared up. So they're like, we don't really know what's happening, but they are sending a wildlife biologist out to check. So then Monday evening, a much larger algae bloom was seen with fish kills at the end of Fanny Creek Lane along the New River. And that's
Right.
also in Sneads Ferry.
Right.
And so the CCRW, which is the Coastal Carolina River Watch, is, doing a testing and sending staff out, and they're going to check and see what that's all about. And they plan to release some kind of report later this week on the fish kill there. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, that'd
keep
be-
an eye on.
And usually when we have an extremely hot summer, you'll
Mhm.
see some of that
Mhm.
here or there. So that, I mean, it does happen, but that's the first I've heard in a while.
Yeah, I mean, and people don't realize sometimes these kind of fish kills can, the impact it can have on the environment.
Right. Exactly.
So, or what's causing the fish kill. So you
Mhm.
definitely want to know. So yeah, it'd be very interesting to just kind of keep a check on that. But meanwhile, till they get those tests run, one thing they don't want people to do is, have their pets or kids anywhere and don't fish in those areas.
Right.
You don't want to do any of that stuff until you know it is safe to do.
Right.
So
Exactly.
keep that in mind.
I've never been a fan of fishing in the New River anyway.
No.
I mean, I'll
Mhm.
take it to go out to the ocean.
Yeah.
But as far as fishing in the New River itself, I see people out there fishing at Wilson Bay Park, and I'm like, nah, And I'm sure it's fine, but just the history of the river, it just kind of, nah, I don't want to do it.
No, it's just no scary, scary, scary stuff.
Yes, it
Because you
is.
just don't know.
So, are you anxious for the weather to turn cooler this
I'd
weekend?
be happy to have the weather cooler. I love the hot weather. Please don't get me wrong. Y'all know summer's my favorite season, but
Right.
I also like fall.
Oh, fall's my favorite.
Fall was my dad's favorite. So it makes me
Yes.
think about my dad. And
Aw.
fall just is, I just think fall is a good thing. So
I do too.
Yeah.
I love fall. It's my favorite
Mhm.
time. I'm not a big fan of running out and buying pumpkin spice everything.
I don't do any of that. My
But,
daughter does, but I don't.
It's just the smells
Yeah.
of it
Mhm.
and the family gatherings for the holidays. I
Mhm.
mean, it's my favorite time.
Just nice. So, I think it'll be a good thing.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
so too.
I mean, and it's going to feel, I think with the weather being the gusty winds on Saturday,
Yes.
it's going to feel, the high is only going to be like 77, 78. It's going to feel chillier, which is really going to make it feel awesome.
Yeah, it
Especially
certainly
because
is.
it's going to be so warm on Thursday. So, Friday's going to be like 76 or something like that. So
Right.
it's going to feel, you're going to feel a cool down. But that's a good thing. Cool is good.
Did you see the news story that came out of New York yesterday about the individual that was in a restaurant? It looked like a fast food place. I'm not really sure. And he had 2 or 3 guys kind of like beating up on him. So he reaches into his book bag and he takes out an axe
No.
and he starts threatening people with it. And he was hitting displays in there, and it shows where he walked up to one young lady sitting at a booth and he's like in her face yelling and stuff. Well, he was arrested and he was charged on several counts, but they released him and didn't put him on bail. It's part of that 2019 Bail Reform Act that
I mean, and
New York has.
New York wonders why they have such a problem with crime and stuff. I mean,
Right.
that guy clearly may pose a danger to people. If he can't control himself, and two, it's just a real
Right.
problem here. But but I wouldn't go to New York.
I mean, threatening people with an axe.
Mhm.
I mean, I
An axe
don't
can
know.
do a lot of damage very quickly.
Yes.
Yikes.
Yes. Well, I thought about you when I saw the story because I thought about you and your machete.
Oh, I'm like, this is a machete
I
now.
know.
Yeah.
I'll just be like, if I ever get into a mess, I'm gonna have Kelly on this side with
Yeah.
her machete and my
Uh-huh.
sister on this side. She's from New York with her
Uh-huh.
mouth, so we'll
Uh-huh.
be good.
Telling you. And I love to axe throw. I've gotten fairly decent at that too.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
I have
I'll
not
have to
done
take
that
you.
yet.
Okay.
Oh,
We're gonna
yes.
go.
We're gonna go.
We'll definitely do.
I'm
that.
ready to go back to
Yeah.
Top Golf too.
Oh yes.
Oh, you have got me hooked.
I'm telling you, Top Golf is amazing.
It is.
And-
I wish we had one right here in Onslow County.
I wish we had one. I would keep that place in business just like I do
sure.
Amazon. So,
Sure.
Yeah. So I mean, with all the Marines we have here,
Oh,
it
yes.
would do so well.
It would. It would be brilliant for any investor who wanted to invest in it.
Mhm.
It would be a good money maker.
Raleigh has one, but I'd rather go to the Myrtle Beach one because I don't
me.
like driving 40.
Right.
So I'd rather just go drive down to Myrtle Beach. But I'm telling you, if you guys have never been to Top Golf, highly recommend. And I'm not a golfer, so please, it's not what you think.
Right.
So,
No, it's not. And it's so much fun. I
'cause
have
you just-
never laughed
You're
so
trying to hit
hard.
the target. I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
And I like being up on like the second floor.
We were on the third floor a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really? And you just hit the ball from there, and
You just have to
it's
aim for the
outlined.
targets. Yeah.
Right. There's targets in the grass out there, and for every target you get certain. It's
points.
almost like darts.
Kind of, yes.
And of course you can eat
Mhm.
and you can have other refreshments while you're doing it, which just adds to the humor.
Oh, and I beat Robin the first game.
I beat him the first game
And
that
the
time we
second
played. Second game,
he was getting his butt beat the second game, and he realized his score. So he came
Right.
back and beat me.
yeah,
And
that's
the
what he
third
did
game,
to
I
me.
just started laughing too much. So just because it was just because I would do good on one,
Right.
and then the next time I would mess it up. It was.
But I
just-
have to
yeah.
laugh because he likes golf. He turns sideways to golf.
Well, he golfs like he's hitting a baseball. That's what I tell him. Like
I'm
this-
just
yeah.
like, well, why are you turned sideways? No, that's the way I do it. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and he also does it left-handed. They have to
Right.
bring him the left-handed clubs. Yeah, but it was fun. It was
It was fun.
and I got to laughing at the people next to me too. I mean,
Right.
they were like getting way too into it.
Right.
Some people take it too seriously. Look, I know I'm not good at it, so I laugh at myself.
Right.
I'm just trying to beat Robin.
Yeah.
So, if I get a higher score than him, it's like the greatest thing. I took pictures because I beat him the first
good.
game. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Take
So-
a picture of the scoreboard.
Yes, so in case anybody
Sorry,
ever
Robin.
said you didn't beat him, bet. Check this score out.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right, let's take a break. Our final break of the morning. We're live in local real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. We'll be right back. And we are back for our last few minutes. I just saw this breaking news story, which is just aggravating as heck to me. So, some guy, I'm going to call him a moron because that's what I think he
Piece
is,
of trash.
has vandalized the Washington Monument.
Right.
So, of course, it's temporarily closed for cleaning and repairs because he vandalized it last night. And the man is actually in custody. He threw red paint all over it and wrote profane messages on its base. Lord,
Nutcase.
really? Come on. Why?
I would hate to be the one that was in Washington sightseeing and had one of my purpose was to go visit that and it be closed. I'd be mad.
Be mad as heck. And what
Yeah,
is the
sure
point
I
of
would.
that? What
Sounds
is
like
the
every
point?
time I go to Cape Hatteras, it's closed for some reason.
It's been since I've been there.
I was just
Yeah.
there last year.
Mm-hmm.
The family went on a camping excursion at Cape Hatteras.
Well, you can keep all that now.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
it was my first and last time.
Yeah, I don't do that. I don't. Kelly doesn't
Hey,
Yeah.
just like give me a cabin with air conditioning.
I'll
I'm
take a
fine.
camper. I'm good with, but not. I don't tent camp at all.
Yes, tent camp. It was an experience.
No, I'm too old to do it, and that makes my back hurt. But well, we've reached actually the end of our show.
We certainly have.
Which is good. Thanks for coming in, sitting in while he goes
Sure.
to his movie premiere. I think
I
it's going to be
know it.
awesome. I can't wait to see
I
it.
know it.
And hopefully they'll be able to show that at the local movie theaters.
I
'Cause
hope
think
so.
it would
'Cause
pack. It would totally
we
be
need to
packed.
make a big thing out of
Yes,
it if
yes.
they do.
I think we also
Definitely.
need to kind of keep an eye on Putin today, since he is just unhinged, like
He
completely
is-
beyond unhinged.
He's trying to build his army up.
And he is now, scaring England with nukes and all kinds of stuff. I mean, calling up reservists, and he is beyond out of control. So I think we all need, as Americans, need to be vigilant and see what he's up to, because I think this guy is completely unhinged.
Well, my Fitbit just told me I need to pick up the pace. So
Okay, you're moving too slow. Yep.
I have 107 zone minutes left this
Well,
week.
yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
you got.
okay.
We're going to sign off now. We're live in local real talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. Have a great day, and we will see you in the morning at 7 a.m. Be safe.